Hey guys, it's Lori. So today, I'm doing this relationship series, and one thing I wanted to talk about is, in this day and age, and it's been going on forever. I mean, I was talking to somebody not too long ago about like the evil in this world and the energy and everything that's like rising up. And yeah, evil has been around since the beginning of time, no doubt. I mean, we have the fallen angels, if you are a Christian, you know about the fallen angels. You know that Satan is real. You know dark energy is real. It's been around forever. I mean, all we got to do is look back in history. I mean, even in biblical times, you can see it. Sodom and Gomorrah, and then we've got Noah's Ark, and the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Egyptian Empire, I mean, just look through history, the United States Empire. Um, and here we are again. But it seems, and I'm thinking it's 2012. Like the Mayan calendar talks about, everybody thought the world was going to end. I think it was, if I remember correctly, December 21st, 2012. And now we've got the Mandela effect. We've got people studying different parallel universes, and I mean, no doubt there's been a shift, regardless of what your beliefs are. If you don't notice that something's different, I have to question if you're even paying attention. You know, it seems that we're upside down. What's right is wrong. What's wrong is right. It's just craziness, right? So anyhow, um, along with that, I happen to believe, and it's just my opinion, I have no proof on this, but I believe that at some point, and it may be right in 2012, I can't pinpoint exactly when, but I almost feel like a portal was opened. Maybe it was CERN, maybe it wasn't, I don't know, where even more fallen angels, demonic entities, whatever it is, evil of some sort, was released into this physical realm and began changing things. And, I know people joke about people being like robotic, but it's true. Um, and then we have artificial intelligence. I mean, we have a bunch of crazy stuff. And along with that, doesn't it seem to you? I mean, we've always had the mentally ill, we've always had serial killers. Um, and what's interesting is when I was young, well, maybe it's not interesting to you, but I was thinking about it today. It's interesting to me. When I was young, I always felt a pull to serve the Lord. I used to have these prophetic dreams, nightmares. At that time, nobody was really talking about the Middle East, as far as like on the news or whatever, at least as far as I knew. We were being taught about like when the communists attack and what to do and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. We heard it all the time. All the time. We were taught about that. But I used to have these dreams of these people, and I didn't know they were Middle Eastern at the time. I mean, it was prior to school age, but coming in and like really torturing people and stuff. And then I had dreams of like the end, and just disaster. Oh, just crazy stuff. And I always felt this pull to serve the Lord, but I was raised in a very works based religion. It wasn't a relationship with Christ. I didn't come to that until later in life. But I always felt that pull to God, always, from as early as I can remember. I remember like preschool, like not even going to school yet. I think I was like 3 years old, 2 years old, whatever, talking to God regularly. I used to ask Him to take me out of this world because I couldn't handle it then. And I used to always get back, it'll all be over soon. So I was absolutely convinced that I was going to die. Now I know God meant, I mean, our lives go in chapters, right? I think He meant that chapter is soon to come to a close. Um, but I was also always, always, always intrigued with the human mind and good, bad, and indifferent. How people can do the things they do, or say the things they say. How it works. How some people are like psychopaths or sociopaths, while others are just by nature, so giving and loving or whatever, and just the human mind. And then you add into that the spiritual aspects, which I, especially now that I know Jesus, but even prior to that, always, always was interested in other realms and other realities and all of that. And unfortunately, in this day and age, the New Age movement is so mainstream. That a lot of people get sucked into that kind of deception, as did I, for years and years and years. And I'm so grateful that I came to know Christ. It was like I was raised with legalism, definitely religion. You follow the church. It was like the church had more power than Jesus. And, I didn't really know God. I by nature, I think we all know him. We all feel drawn to him. And I stuck with that, praise God, but I didn't really know him until later in life. So anyway, I'm rambling on. My whole point is I want to talk about mental illness and personality disorders. Now, we used to call them character flaws. We used, and I think a lot of times, I still believe this, you'll hear me say this all the time, people throw out personality disorders or even mental illness like it's nothing today. I have PTSD, I have OCD, I have borderline, I have, that person's got narcissistic personality disorder. When in reality, that person may just be a narcissist, not actually have the personality disorder. That person just might be a neat freak, not necessarily have OCD. The person might just have anxiety, not necessarily PTSD. But I've noticed a lot of people who do truly suffer from personality disorders and mental illness. Now, with mental illness and that sort of thing, it can be treated with medication. And I grew up with a mentally ill mother, so I understand just how trying it can be. And then I've come across in my lifetime, of course, I work with a lot of people, personality disorders, people with personality disorders. And I got to tell you, that's really, really, really hard to deal with. And if you're dealing with that, and we also have addiction, which has gone epidemic proportions. And people that are in the throes of addiction, it changes their brain. And a lot of times there's dual, maybe even more than that, diagnosis. Because I don't think there's anybody in the world that says, gee, I want to be an addict when I grow up, I want to, I want to throw my life away. I want to be dependent on a substance and be sick without it, or be crazy, whatever, ruin all my relationships. I don't think there's any person in the world that aspires to that, right? But again, dealing with somebody who's suffering with addiction, dealing with somebody who has a personality disorder, or mental illness can be really trying on the soul. So, but addiction may not have a cure. Some people say it has a cure, some people don't. There is absolute recovery, though. We know that. That's been proven. Some people recover, some people don't. And the people that don't, the people that cross over because of it, take their own lives because of it, whatever the case may be, I don't put out judgment to them when others are, live their lives in recovery. We all have our own path. And one thing I've learned is not to stand in judgment of anyone. I know that if not for the grace of God, I could be in any one of those places, Truly, we're human. So I'm not, if this sounds like that, please, that's not my intention at all. So, mental illness, they have medication for, therapy for, that kind of thing. Addiction, you can find recovery. Not that it's an easy road, but you can. And there are medications as well that can help you. There's therapy that can help you. You know, Personality disorders are a little bit different. There's no medication for it. There are certain therapies that have so far seemed to work a bit on some of the personality disorders. But a lot of people that have personality disorders don't see anything wrong with it. They don't see that they need therapy. They may be opposed to therapy depending on which disorder they have. So it's a really, really hard spot to be in if you're trying to deal with someone like that. That's what I want to focus on today. Now, I've already made this video go too long, so I'm going to leave this one at that. But if you want to talk about, or if you want to hear about personality disorders, and I'll probably focus mostly today on cluster B, because that's what I'm seeing the most of, although cluster A and cluster C are absolutely out there too. I'll cover what they all are, what a personality disorder is, and what you can do if you find yourself connected to somebody who's suffering from it, or if you're the person suffering from it. I'll tell you right now, if you listen to the next video, or anybody talking about personality disorders, a therapist, whatever, and find that it may be you, please go see a therapist. There's several different types of therapy that have been shown to, improve the life of these people, to some degree. And don't lose all hope, okay? And another thing I gotta say is, I truly believe with God, what's not possible with man is absolutely possible with God. So there's that. All right, I'm gonna stop this one for now, and if you're interested, carry on. I'm gonna do the next one. I'll upload them at the same time, but I just ended up talking too much about the darkness and that kind of thing. So hopefully you'll follow me on to the next one. Talk to you soon.